Hi everyone, Dan Vukmirovich here of Let'sGoFitness.com. Want to talk to you today, as I promised, about energy drinks and want to help you defeat the energy drink monster. Maybe some of you are drinking maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 of these a day. They go down pretty quickly and they definitely give you a jolt of energy. But what's really going on inside, and how is this affecting your overall nutrition and really how you feel each day? If you're interested in finding out, stay tuned. So, monster drinks. Even good old Mountain Dew. Grew up on this stuff. Even forced myself back in the day. I remember sitting on the couch and wanting to like Mountain Dew because I wanted to be in with the cool kids who drank Mountain Dew. And so I literally forced myself to drink this stuff because initially it didn't taste very good to me. The carbonation, whatever, it didn't taste so good. But I ended up liking it later, and then I had to get off of it. And the deal is, I think a lot of us would like to be off these. We'd like to be free from these. But we're really sort of stuck because we're a little bit addicted. I want to talk to you a little bit about how we can kick the energy drink habit and also pop as well. So, the bad stuff. So let me tell you this, I don't want to freak you out so much, but really what's going on inside your body. When you're putting in energy drinks on a regular basis, often you're doing, especially when it comes to the regular ones, you're putting in somewhere of around 54 grams of sugar per drink that you do on this. Okay, so 54 grams. That's like 19 or so, 20 or so tablespoons of sugar that you're putting in your body. Okay, got it? So if you're trying to get, slim down, you're trying to get on a diet, you're trying to make some progress there, that's not going to help you. Now, even if you go the whole diet version of these things as well, the amount of extra sweeteners that they're putting in there are affecting your insulin system anyways, your endocrine system. So you're going to actually be producing insulin, which will then ultimately cause you to have cravings later. So even if you're using the diet versions, just saying, even pop-wise, so here's the thing. You know this for a fact, that a lot of people will go, oh, I'm going to go and I'm just going to get a Diet Coke or whatever. But really, how many people do you know that are really fit who are drinking Diet Coke on a regular basis? When you look at most of the population that they are drinking Diet Coke, probably not in the best shape. And so what we need to understand is that diet isn't the solution necessarily either. Okay, back to the energy part of this. So the caffeine that's going into your body, it's a hyper amount of caffeine that's going in. And what I want to do is, at least minimally, we're going to try to clean that up. So I'm not saying caffeine's a bad thing. I'm not saying a ton of caffeine is a good thing either. But some caffeine on a daily basis is not a big issue. And I'm a coffee drinker, and I keep it pretty clean. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So what I want to do is also mention to you with your hormones and how this is, your hormones are going wacky with the amount of preservatives and artificial ingredients that your body just doesn't know how to process those. And so what ends up doing is it shuts things down, shuts systems down. So your adrenal system, though, as well, ends up going into a mode where you are getting this hyper amount of energy, and it's making, say, energy, I need energy, energy, and then there's the crash. So your adrenal system's going for a big old ride that you don't need it to be going on. So you're going to lack energy particularly, and you're going to lack focus often in the afternoons. If I'm right, many of you are hitting those drinks right around maybe 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You pop one back, maybe you get that little boost of energy, but then you crash later at night. And then, here's the truth about this all. Because your adrenal system's so kind of whack out, you don't sleep very well. And so then, what does that do? It recreates the cycle of you needing more energy drinks the next morning, and then it becomes a noontime one. And then you add that afternoon, and maybe even eat. So, starting to get 3 or 4 per day, that gets really rough. Not only is it rough on your system, it's rough on your pocketbook, because those drinks aren't cheap. You can get a monster, so over $2 each, and then you're going to be pretty rough, especially when you look at that over a monthly bill. So, looking at that, number one. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about number two, how to quit. Now, there's a couple techniques we can use for quitting energy drinks. And the one specific one is the hardest one. I'm going to talk about the hardest one first, and that's going cold turkey. Cold turkey, as you know, when it comes to just about anything, whether you're quitting smoking or whether you're quitting drinking or whether you're quitting doing energy drinks, there is an issue and your body is not used to the situation that you're putting it into. So, you're on things one day and then you're off them the next day. Body does not like that. And so what ends up happening is it sort of revolts against you. So what's going to happen is you're going to get headaches and you're going to feel hungrier. You're going to have issues where you're completely lack of energy. You're going to be cloudy, foggy, all that stuff. So my recommendation, if you do the cold turkey method, which is the quickest way to get off energy drinks, you can go cold turkey. And even in the minimal amount, about 3 days, you can truly kick the habit. We'll talk about how to replace the habit too as well at the end of this. So you can do that in about 3 days, but there's going to be a price to pay. So I recommend if you do the cold turkey method that you make sure it's on a weekend. Because if you have to get up bright and early in the morning and you don't have your energy drink and then you got to go to work and be around people, not going to be so good. And you got to be effective in your job, not so good. So better to do it on a weekend, especially a long holiday weekend. That can be a really great way for you to kick the habit on that weekend. Then also make sure you got some pain reliever, you got some ibuprofen or something like that in order to kill the headaches, because you will have those headaches. And then finally, drink a ton of water. A ton of water is absolutely going to help your body flush out the toxins that have been present in your body. And it's going to help you make sure you're feeling full, and it'll just really help that process where your body is properly hydrated, and it'll be in good shape. Okay, the other method for quitting is the weaning method. You're going to kind of wean yourself off of this. And it's kind of like effectively the nicotine patch way of quitting smoking. So what you're going to want to do for this is you're going to want to lower your intake of whatever amount of the drinks that you're doing on a regular basis by about a quarter to a half a can every 2 days, okay? And what that'll do is it'll start to pull your levels down a little bit each time. So don't finish your can. Don't finish your bottle by about a half or a quarter, okay? And that's going to help you then. Your body's going to get used to that new normal, and you won't have those raging headaches. You won't have raging hunger, and that can be a way to wean yourself off. Now, depending on how many you're drinking, you can be off within a week or two. For 2 weeks, you're drinking a lot of drinks, but that's the idea, is if you're going to be able to kind of step yourself down so you'll be in good shape and you'll feel a little bit better. So I recommend probably the weaning method a little bit more. If you can do that, that's probably the way to go at it. All right. Now, the thing is, once you do get weaned, the issue is you're going to still want to drink something, okay? And you still need to be hydrated. But the problem can be is that you're so used, particularly if you do the cold turkey method, you're so used to the hyper sugar that these products have in them. And so what will happen is your taste buds are not going to be used to the idea of maybe say drinking water. You're going to be like, oh, this is so bland. I made a video on that, and you can check that out. Here's a link for that. And so that will help you understand that your taste buds are going to be kind of a culprit in keeping you on energy drinks because they're used to those sugary levels. But as you wean yourself, your taste buds are going to get set to a new normal. And what we want to do is we want to start replacing those super, super sweet drinks with less sweet drinks and more naturally sweetened drinks. So your taste buds will then start to acclimate and start registering those pleasure centers in your brain that are wanting the pleasure of a sweetness, because sweet is a pleasure signal that's being sent to your brain, and your body likes that. And what we need to do is make the natural things that are naturally sweet, are going to start setting off those pleasure centers in your brain. So initially, what you're going to want to consider doing is getting some water. Flavored water is pretty good. It's not the best thing, but you can do those, those Aquafinas that are flavored. You can do the Propel, different things like that. I don't recommend doing like Gatorades and stuff like that because there's again, you're putting a lot of extra diet stuff in there. But in the beginning, doing that, even Mio, the water additive, you can do it. And then Mio with caffeine is also a decent solution, particularly for you as you're trying to get off of the energy drinks, because that's going to give you that little bit of caffeine shot. So those are good. A few drops, don't go crazy on it. But in the beginning, you may have to do a little bit more because your taste buds and your caffeine level are going to be the things where you're going to want to have those in your system. Bring those down, step them down just as you go, and then eventually you can get to the place where plain water itself, or maybe just a little bit of where you can start to make your own waters and then start putting fruit in them, or cucumbers, or like lemons, limes, strawberries, that kind of stuff, oranges, in your water to give that extra little bit of flavor, so you're getting a little bit of flavor, so it's not so boring necessarily. I'm officially in the spot where I dig water on a regular basis, so I'm good at that point. So trust me, as a testimony to this, you can get there. I used to be a big Diet Coke head not so long ago, and so I would drink that, like, honestly, probably somewhere about 6 to 8 cans a day is where I was at that point. So it can be done, and you can get to that place where you are feeling better and looking better, and you're just going to have a greater energy level. And truly, guys, I'll say it, specifically when it comes to the stomach side, if you're looking to kind of get your abs defined, you're trying to lose some weight, it really matters to get off those drinks quickly and use these tips. Now, last thing is, I want you to subscribe if you want to this channel. I'm going to promise you that I'll be offering valuable content that is going to add value to your life on a regular basis. Then also, I want you to comment on this and then share it also with any friends who might find this a beneficial thing for them. I know you know some people who need to get off energy drinks or off of Mountain Dew and some of those pops. So please share that with them and help them on their health and fitness journey, because we want to make this a movement of health and fitness people who are just really spreading out the message throughout the country. Thanks, guys, for listening, and let's go.